When I first pitched the idea of Little Did I Know as a series, Matt McDonald told me, yeah, I like that little did you know idea. To which I pointed out intently, it's not little did you know, it's little did I know. I don't want anybody being punished for my ignorance.
And thus launched around 200 weekly episodes that aired every Friday, but also took on a life of its own in our digital space as well. And while there is still some lingering sadness in my heart that this is the last hurrah,
I ain't going out like that. Let's celebrate my ignorance together by looking back on all the things that I now know.
Art, the statue also known as the Traveler downtown, he's married and he has a kid. So a bronze statue who clearly has no money has got more game than I've ever had. Billy Chinook's name wasn't Billy, and he wasn't a Chinook Indian. He was of the Wasco tribe, and his name was Geigo. He was the nephew of Chief Wasco, and he had a heart for adventure. A piece of Central Oregon lava rock is on the moon. Yeah, that feels about right. G.P. Putnam, one of Ben's early pioneers, came from fortune and privilege to help start a remote Oregon town whose fortunes had yet to be fully discovered. After his wife Dorothy, heiress to the Crayola fortune, had an affair with a strapping young sophomore from Yale, G.P. married Amelia Earhart. Yeah, that Amelia Earhart. Is it Lava Bear or Lava Bear?
The jury's still out on that one.
And while we're at it, what's a Tuya? No, seriously, that big hunk of rock across from Hoodoo? It's called a Tuya, and its origin story involves fire, ice, and a lot of patience. I found out who O.B. Riley was, Dutch Stover, Alexander Drake, Virginia Meisner, Fannie Wilson, Vince Genna, or Jenna.
The jury's still out on that one, too.
I also found out why so many roads in Central Oregon have the word market in them. I once used Dolly Parton and monster trucks to explain wind chill, and a black and tan beer to explain freezing rain. Still kind of proud of those two. I interviewed 4 of the godfathers of Central Oregon craft brewing. I found out that while Northern California is often credited with being the birthplace of mountain biking, even those Northern California pioneers would acknowledge that Central Oregon was cranking right there with them. Some of my favorites were when I'd take you along for the ride in my space geek obsession, reporting from Mars, watching landings from my recliner, and we all watched as for the first time in human history, an aircraft took flight on another planet. We looked at Central Oregon history in both black and white and color. I found out how Smith Rock got its name. The jury's still out on that one, too. We untangled the dam fiasco at Bull Flat and the complicated dam history of Central Oregon. We learned about the time that Father Luke stood up to the Klan. I took you along on a historical and geological tour of the Peterson Rock Garden. We went rafting down the lower Deschutes River where the Deschutes Railroad War took place, and then I took you along on my vacation rafting down the Grand Canyon. I learned about a horse named Warpaint, got a behind-the-scenes look at some beautiful raptors, went on a search for a friendly grouse at Virginia Meisner Snow Park, and we learned about how the width of 2 horses' behinds was responsible for the engine sizes on the space shuttle.
That's a long story.
Finally, I recently found out there's a hole in the ground. Not a hole in the ground, the hole in the ground, which is naturally right over near crack in the ground.
So of all the 200 or so episodes I've produced, which one is my favorite? This one. Because it's my opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting this series for so long and all the words of appreciation I've received over the years.
For Central Oregon Daily News, I'm Space Geek, Weather Dork, wannabe musician, history buff, and of course, soon-to-be meteorologist Scott Elness once again.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you, Central Oregon. Green light.